Alright, new God of War Ragnarok screenshots, gameplay, and info has been revealed thanks to our friends over at Game Informer. This could very well hint that the marketing push for God of War Ragnarok is starting, which means we should expect an official overview of the game from PlayStation very soon. Now, fingers crossed that the rumored PlayStation Showcase event is much sooner than we think. Now, according to Game Informer, God of War Ragnarok is set to conclude the Norse era of the series, a saga that's seen Kratos atone for his troubling past by becoming a more conscious god and mildly affectionate father. In the upcoming sequel, Kratos and Atreus must stave off a preordained catastrophe, calling on an old and new friends to succeed against Asgard and hopefully prevent an all-out war. Now, Game Informer's Jason Guisano sat down with God of War Ragnarok's director, Eric Williams, and lead UX, combat, and level designers to listen to the updates they had to share on the game. Now, as of the time of this video, the only part of the cover story that is live is the new combat information, so that's what we're going to be focusing on. But let's be real, this is probably the most important, or one of the most important pieces that we want to know about. God of War Ragnarok's current combat direction is inspired by an old studio motto of playing with your food. Lead combat designers said that they tried creating engaging systems that are fun, very playful with lots of different routes, and when they looked at the combat in the last game, they felt it could be pushed and that they could find new toys and new ways to play with enemies and strategies. One of the new screenshots that are shown off in the issue is an introduction of a first look at one of the enemies that is a bipedal lizard known as Grims. Grims seem to attack players by catching them off guard, firing toxic bile from their swollen gullets. What's kind of similar to previous gameplay is that you're going to see Kratos return with the Olympian strength to destroy enemies, and Atreus coming back with his bow to either stagger enemies or swing at them himself. But what the new thing is, the use of the triangle button in God of War Ragnarok, and it is slightly tweaked. Now, according to one of the combat designers, in the last game, if you press triangle, you recall the axe, but if you already had the axe, nothing happened. If you had the Blades of Chaos and then you press triangle, you just went back to the axe. He says that they looked at that concept and wondered, what if you could do something a little bit different with that button? How about a whole new suite of moves? Triangle attacks are officially called weapon signature moves. Depending on whether you have the Leviathan Axe or the Blades of Chaos readied, Kratos can infuse the sharpened steel with either ice or fire. These elemental moves are going to be either called Frost Awaken or Whiplash. They'll do extra damage by either freezing or incinerating enemies. Now, not just those weapons, but the shield is also revamped. There's the Dauntless Shield, which is all about reactions. By parrying at the very last possible moment, Kratos' shield is going to glow a red color. That's going to signal the player to unleash a devastating smash that tosses and stuns enemies. Then there's also going to be the Stonewall Shield that is more for tank lovers that prefer slower paced fights. Kratos can't parry when equipped with the Stonewall Shield, but by keeping it raised, it's crucial to surviving a bunch of hits. The more hits the Stonewall Shield takes, though, is the more kinetic energy it absorbs, and once it's fully charged, players can bang the shield into the ground, emitting a screen-wide pulse, knocking anything foolish enough to even approach. It's also said that Kratos will have access to other powerful shields, but they're not giving any more information about that at this time. The combat design confirmed that the enemy's aggression and lethality will be heightened on harder difficulties, but players still need to keep their wits about them, regardless of selected settings. Old locations will also periodically be repopulated with more powerful fauna and enemies, and optional territories you find can be very tough. It's mentioned that fans of realm tiers will get a comparable sense of gratification from besting some of Ragnarok's formidable side content. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all we get for now for God of War Ragnarok on the combat front. Make sure to stay tuned with Game Informer for the rest of the story, and make sure to stay subscribed as we're going to go ahead and drop any new information that drops from Game Informer, and even if PlayStation drops any more news as well. I'm Jared, 59 Direct, and we'll see you guys in the next one.